feel like I dropped something. What did I drop?
I'm great. How are you?
I'll tell you about it later.
Pre-council meeting will come to order. Regular pre-council meeting on Monday, March 20th, with Mayor Odekirk presiding.
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Odekirk.
Here.
Councilwoman Hernandez Brewer.
Here?
Councilwoman Gavin.
Here.
Councilman Girl.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilman Morris.
Here.
Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Here.
Councilman Turk.
Here.
First, we have citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone present that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Seeing none, we'll pass it to the city manager to discuss the agenda items this evening.
Thank you. Turning your attention to the consent agenda, under item F, 136, we've got 2 position vacancies that we're looking for you to authorize. One is entry-level police officer position due to a recent resignation. And under the Community Development Department, the Neighborhood Services Director, also due to a recent resignation. Item G is a IMRF disclosure pursuant to Public Act. Now requires the city to list, and you just receive, you don't take action in any way, but to let you know what the increased contributions to IMRF are due to various payout of accrued sick time, comp time, and vacation pay, which sometimes can get to be a large number due to the fact that employees have worked 25 to 35 years for the city. So, and at this point, I'll have our Deputy Liquor Commissioner come up and review the 2 petitions.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have 2 items before you this evening. First one is Council Memo 138-17. A public hearing was held on February 22nd, 2017 at 2:00 a.m. for a requested Class O expanded outdoor beer garden midnight license. The applicant is Rodolfo Carlos, doing business as Lamex Restaurant, located at 3157 West Jefferson Street. The business is in good standing. The police department does not see any law enforcement problems. Distance from the residential zoning is greater than 300 feet. Entertainment and electronically amplified music is not allowed. There will be an emergency exit for people. Food will be served on the deck. The applicant will work with the building department during construction. Based on these facts and facts of the hearing, the Liquor Commission is recommending approval of this license. The second item is Council Memo 139-17. A public hearing was held on January 18th, 2017 at 9:30 a.m. for a requested Class A license being transferred from the previous owner. The applicant is Casey Espinoza, doing business as El Trebol Bar, located at 950 Collins Street. No persons appeared in opposition at the hearing. There are no outstanding monies owed to the city. The building department and fire department have no issues with the issuance of this license. The police department states in the past there has been a number of serious calls for service, which have included fights, disturbances, loud music, and shots fired or heard. If this license is approved, it should be very closely monitored. Based on these facts and facts of the hearing, the Liquor Commission is recommending the approval of this liquor license.
Questions?
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, I do have a question.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I have a question. How many calls for service were there to that establishment?
I didn't see the sheet. I just read the results of the recommendation from the police department. I didn't actually see the calls for service sheet.
Could you get
I'm
that
sure
for
we
me?
have it in our office.
Could you get that for me for tomorrow, please?
Sure.
Thanks.
Okay.
Items 141 and 142 we're asking for you to table them to the next meeting because at the February 16th Planning Commission, they didn't have a quorum, so they couldn't hear it till their meeting of this month. Council Memo 144 is an ordinance declaring certain properties as public nuisance. We have 3 locations, one on Baker, the other on Liberty, and then Cesar, where we're asking you to initiate public nuisance so that we can get them fixed or demolished eventually. Council Memo 145 is an ordinance and adding abandoned residential property registration. This, in essence, as we all know, since the beginning of the foreclosure crisis back in 2008, has resulted in all communities having more distressed properties. And a concern of everybody is that these do not appear abandoned and vacant, attracting undesirables to break into these and detract the value of the neighborhood. So by adopting this ordinance, it will enact the abandonment clause of a mortgage requiring a bank to buy the city property and let us know a 24-hour contact for any kind of maintenance issue or if they fall behind on those weekly inspections. Again, this idea is to keep up the value of the homes in our community. Council Memo 147 is the First Amendment to the Union Station lease agreement with Migraine Brewing Company. As you know, it seems like every other Friday manager's report, I'm giving you some details on some of the things that the developers have found in the demolition of the interior of the Union Station location. We've done waterproofing. We've had to replace a steel girder, a stanchion holding up the second floor, and the list goes on and on. Also, as a result of this, we've discussed with the developers and modified the agreement, and so we're swapping some responsibilities here. Predominant issue is that they will be responsible for putting the HVAC unit in there, which we anticipate will be over $400,000. And then the city will be responsible for completely redoing the exterior plaza, raising the level of the closest entrance there, closest to the railway. It's about 2 feet lower. And so for handicap access, we want to raise that up. And then we'll be doing a stamped pavement, colored pavement all the way from the corner all the way to their front entry door. The agreement spells out the responsibilities, and in turn, we are extending the lease agreement from 5 years to 10 years in terms of payback on the rent, and there are a number of other provisions. For the city, it allows less of a cash layout initially for us. For the developer, it allows him to proceed at a quicker pace because some of these bigger aspects we'd have to go to competitive bids and let the bid and then schedule the contracting. And both of our goal is to get them up and running as soon as possible. Developers are here if you've got any questions from them at this point.
Jim, I would just add, I know there's been a lot of back and forth. Thank you guys for sticking with it. It was an old building that had a lot of unforeseen problems, so we're really looking forward to you guys getting up and going here. Thank you.
Absolutely, and I'd like to have the first draft beer. Pull it off, I'll be the first customer there. We're waiting for you.
Mayor?
Thank you for coming.
Are we still looking at like maybe a July opening, or
You guys step forward, please.
unless anything else happens?
would love to. That all depends on you guys, the approvals of Jim's been very helpful, and Kendall and David, and thank you very much for that, but there's still a lot to do, and it all depends on you. We have the support, and we look in July, yeah.
Great, thank you.
Mayor?
Thank you.
Yes.
And I would just say that, like you said, Jim, it's an old building, we're finding some things out, like the old carriage delivery.
Right.
Concrete. However, you have to take some responsibility for the headaches, because you did name it migraine.
We were anticipating.
There you go.
Okay,
Thanks,
thank
guys.
you.
Thank
Thank you.
Council Memo 148 is a resolution accepting a proposal from SB Friedman for professional services related to the downtown TIF amendment and feasibility study. The current tax increment finance district was formed in 2000 for the downtown, and in 2006, we added some territory and revised the development plan. Currently, it'll end in 2023. At this point in time, we've had some successes over the past 17 years, but to really get somebody to make significant investment in a downtown, the payback period between now and 2023 just isn't enough. Because what the tax increment finance district captures is the increased value between the starting point and when they're done with their project. And that can be rebated or go into a pool which can be rebated to other developers as well. So state statute requires that a feasibility study be conducted, as we did recently for the St. Joseph Hospital TIF that we established. And so this contract will again employ the services of SB Friedman, who did that prior TIF, and take a look at some new territories for expanding the region as well, and explore that possibility too. Questions? Council Memo 149, again, is a proposal from SB Friedman, and this is for the Rock Run crossing. This will be a financial analysis. As you know, this is the property owned by Cullinan, who we've been in discussions with over the past year, and this is for the 250-acre-plus site east of I-55 and north of I-80. There's a tremendous amount of infrastructure, especially in the transportation area, that will have to be conducted to make sure that they have commercial success for this endeavor. And so there will be some potential TIF assistance or creation of a business district and other revenue-creating opportunities that need to be reviewed by SB Friedman in order to make a recommendation to the city in terms of our level of participation in this project.
Jim, how quick can the turnaround be on this from SB Friedman?
Well, I think Friedman has already had access to Cullinan's financial reports, and so they've actually got a head start on this project. Okay. So I'm hoping sooner than later, because we're looking to get going on this. Cullinan's looking for a commitment from the state as part of our commitment as well.
Mayor?
Yes.
And I would point out, SB Friedman, you know, we've been working with them as a city now for 2.5 years, roughly.
Yes.
And they've already earned their bones, so to speak. They're very, very objective. They tell us when it's good, they tell us when it's bad, and they tell us when we flip a coin. And I would say this, too. I remind people that Steve Jones is a one-man department right now. And since he became mayor, we hired him. So they're doing what a staff of 7 or 8 full-time employees would do. No, not yet, Steve. And I would say, too, if I remember correctly, and I do read your reports. I just missed that one last time, Jim.
Right.
If I remember correctly, there's some proposed legislation to put some constraints on TIFs that, you know, meet the maximum as far as re-TIFing them. So now would be a good time to make sure we continue what we started the last couple of years.
That's true. I saw Steve Friedman at a Metro Managers luncheon last Thursday and talked to him about that. And he's already had some inside information thinking it's going to die in committee. So
Good, I hope so.
hopefully that's true.
Okay, thank you.
Next memo is a resolution well, let me move on to the next one, sorry. This is to appoint a local government director to the South Suburban Land Bank and Development Authority. With Alfredo Malicio's departure, we're suggesting that Jeff Stair be appointed in his absence as that representative. Council Memo 151 is a resolution for the execution of the development agreement with CenterPoint regarding sanitary sewer improvements. This will be along Route 6 in the Hobart Road area to Terry Drive, providing the eastern limits of this sewer system is at the end of the Caterpillar plant, which is being redeveloped by CenterPoint right now. So this will accommodate future development in that area and provide an extension for CenterPoint as well. And they are participating. Our anticipated costs, portion of the sewer estimated not to exceed $230,000. Then Council Memo 152 is a resolution to approve additional fundings for Phase 3 engineering for the Keaton Farm Road over DuPage River Improvement Project, and that's for $14,746. And with that, the rest of the agenda will be, or has been, reviewed and approved. Recommendations will come tomorrow night under committee reports, and I do have a request for a brief closed session.
First, we have public comments. Is there anyone that would like to speak under public comments this evening? Is there a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, land acquisition, or conveyance pending or threatened litigation, after which the meeting will be adjourned?
So moved.
Second?
Been motion seconded to approve. Councilwoman Hernandez Brewer.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Motion carried.